Ladies and gentlemen, success isn't something we chase. It's something we attract by the person we become. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. That's why today I'm not here to talk about goals, luck, or shortcuts. I'm here to talk about transformation, a shift in mindset, behavior, and identity that turns you into a magnet for success. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities, wealth, and admiration without desperately chasing them? It's not luck, it's not chance, it's alignment. They've developed certain habits, values, and ways of thinking that resonate with success. To attract success, you must raise your standards. You must become more disciplined than distracted, more intentional than reactive, more focused on value than validation. Success begins within, not outside of you. The truth is the most powerful force in your life is who you are becoming. Are you becoming stronger, wiser, more dependable? Are you developing self-respect, clarity, and courage, or are you simply wishing and waiting? You attract success not when you try harder, but when you become better. And when you do, the right people, the right doors, and the right future will start showing up. Now, let's explore 7 key principles that will help you become the person who attracts success. Self-discipline is not a punishment. It is a powerful act of self-respect, a signal to your mind and your surroundings that you are in control of your actions, your time, and ultimately your life. People often wait for motivation to arrive before taking action, but motivation is a feeling, and like all feelings, it is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll only act when it's convenient. But discipline is a choice, a commitment, a muscle that strengthens with repetition. Becoming the person who attracts success means becoming the person who doesn't negotiate with excuses. It means waking up early when your body wants to sleep more. It means working on your goals when others are scrolling through distractions. It means saying no to short-term pleasure in favor of long-term progress. Success is not a one-time event. It's the compounded result of what you do every day, the workouts you don't skip, the conversations you prepare for, the skills you refine when no one is watching. Self-discipline also brings clarity. When you become disciplined, your life becomes less chaotic and more intentional. You no longer drift, you direct. You don't just react to life, you respond with purpose. Discipline helps you master your emotions, manage your time, and maintain momentum. It creates a rhythm in your day, a structure in your mind, and a calmness in your heart. Most importantly, self-discipline builds trust not with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you send a message to your subconscious, I can count on me. And that message, repeated over time, rewires your identity. You begin to see yourself as capable, reliable, and focused. And from that identity flows a life of meaningful, consistent achievement. Self-discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build. And once it's built, it becomes your most loyal companion on the path to success. Success is not attracted to confusion, it's attracted to clarity. If you don't know who you are, what you want, and where you're going, neither will the world. That's why one of the most powerful steps toward becoming the person who attracts success is to develop a vision so clear, so emotionally charged, that it pulls you forward even on the hardest days. Your vision is more than a goal. It's your internal compass. It gives direction to your thoughts, meaning to your actions, and structure to your time. A person without vision drifts, reacting to circumstances, following trends, and living by default. But a person with a clear vision walks with purpose. They know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. They conserve energy, focus better, and make decisions with greater confidence because everything they do is aligned with where they're headed. Creating a compelling vision starts with asking yourself the deeper questions. Who do I want to become in the next 5 or 10 years? What kind of life do I want to wake up to every day? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These aren't just vague ideas, they need to become vivid mental images. Visualize your future in high definition. Picture the environment, feel the emotions, hear the sounds, smell the surroundings. The more detailed your vision, the more it feels real, and the more your mind and behavior begin to shift to support it. But vision is not only about imagery, it's about belief. You must believe that your vision is possible for you. That belief will become the fuel for your persistence, the anchor during storms, and the magnet that draws opportunities. When you truly believe in your vision, you'll speak differently, carry yourself differently, and show up in a way that commands attention and respect, because conviction is contagious. And here's the secret: successful people are drawn to others who are clear about what they want. Why? Because clarity signals leadership, direction, and potential. When you speak your vision with certainty, people start to see you not as you are, but as who you are becoming. Doors open, resources appear. Relationships deepen, not because you begged, but because you aligned, because you had a vision worth following. So if you want to attract success, start by becoming someone who knows exactly where they're going and isn't afraid to own it. To attract success, you must become the kind of person who views every experience, good or bad, as a stepping stone for personal growth. A growth-oriented mindset is not just a positive attitude. It is a deliberate, empowering perspective that allows you to see potential where others see problems and lessons where others see loss. It is the foundation of resilience, adaptability, and consistent improvement. People with a fixed mindset believe that their talents, intelligence, and abilities are set in stone. When they fail, they feel defeated. When they face difficulty, they withdraw. But people with a growth mindset understand that every skill can be developed, every weakness can be strengthened, and every obstacle can be used as a teacher. These are the people who attract success not because they are perfect, but because they're willing to become better. Cultivating a growth mindset requires you to replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "How can I learn this?" Instead of fearing failure, begin to welcome it as a necessary part of the process. When you're committed to growth, failure is not a dead end, it's feedback. It's a mirror that shows you where to adjust, refine, and try again. The growth-minded individual doesn't expect overnight results. They understand that mastery is earned through patience, practice, and persistence. They're not driven by ego, but by evolution. They read, they study, they ask questions, they seek mentorship, welcome feedback, and embrace discomfort because they know the struggle is part of the shaping. And here's the key: success is attracted to learners. Opportunity flows to those who are constantly leveling up, who bring fresh ideas, renewed energy, and adaptable skills. When you commit to growth, you never remain stagnant. Even when things are slow on the outside, transformation is happening on the inside, and soon that inner shift will manifest into outer success. A growth mindset also strengthens your identity. It rewires your self-image from "I'm not good enough" to "I'm getting better every day." It silences self-doubt and replaces it with self-respect. It creates an inner confidence that isn't shaken by temporary setbacks, because your belief isn't tied to outcomes, but to effort and evolution. Ultimately, when you adopt a mindset focused on growth, you become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You are a reflection of the environment you consistently expose yourself to. If you want to attract success, you must begin by examining the people, conversations, habits, and energies you surround yourself with. Excellence is not cultivated in isolation. It's influenced, amplified, and sharpened by the company you keep. Take a moment to consider this. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? What do they talk about? What do they value? How do they handle adversity, time, money, or growth? Whether you realize it or not, you're absorbing their attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors on a subconscious level. If you're constantly around people who complain, make excuses, gossip, and settle for mediocrity, it becomes incredibly difficult to rise above that energy, not because you're weak, but because your environment is louder than your intentions. Now, imagine being in the presence of people who challenge you to think bigger, who don't let you quit, who live with purpose, act with discipline, speak with clarity, and encourage your evolution. Those kinds of relationships are not accidental, they're intentional. And they're magnetic. When you place yourself around driven, ambitious, and values, based individuals, their energy raises your standards. Their success doesn't make you feel small, it shows you what's possible. But attracting that kind of excellence into your circle begins with becoming excellent yourself. You must embody the same qualities you seek in others: integrity, humility, hunger, honesty. Be someone worth connecting with. Learn to listen deeply, add value to others, and carry yourself with purpose. When you bring that energy into your interactions, you don't have to beg to be included. You naturally belong where growth and greatness reside. Sometimes creating a high-quality environment requires making difficult decisions. It might mean spending less time with people who drain your focus, distract your vision, or disrespect your dreams. It might mean letting go of shallow friendships to make room for more meaningful connections. This isn't about judgment, it's about alignment. You don't rise by tearing others down, you rise by choosing to grow in the right direction, even if it means walking alone for a while. Your surroundings shape your identity. They influence your beliefs about what's normal, what's acceptable, and what's achievable. If you immerse yourself in circles where success is expected, not envied, you'll start seeing it not as a fantasy, but as a standard. And when success becomes your standard, it will no longer feel out of reach. It will feel inevitable. Nothing repels success faster than a mindset rooted in blame, victimhood, or entitlement. If you want to become the kind of person who attracts success, you must take complete, unwavering responsibility for your life, not just the parts you like, but all of it. Your actions, your choices, your outcomes, your energy, your growth. Success doesn't respond to complaints, it responds to accountability. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything that happens is your fault. Life will throw challenges, setbacks, and injustices your way, some beyond your control. But what is within your control is how you respond. Responsibility is not about blame, it's about ownership. It's saying, this is my life, and I will not wait for others to fix it. I will lead myself. That mindset transforms you from a passive participant in life to an active creator of your future. When you take responsibility, you stop giving your power away. You no longer blame your past, your parents, your boss, the economy, or your circumstances. Instead, you look in the mirror and ask, what can I do right now to change this? What can I learn from this? How can I grow through this? That shift is not just empowering, it's liberating. Because as long as you believe something outside of you is responsible for your life, you'll always be waiting, and waiting keeps you stuck. Responsibility also sharpens your focus. It forces you to stop wasting time on things you can't change and start pouring energy into things you can. Your habits, your discipline, your mindset, your relationships, your goals, all of these are within your reach. When you take ownership of these areas, you move from reaction to intention. You don't live on autopilot anymore, you live on purpose. And here's what most people miss. When you fully own your life, others start to trust you more. Responsibility builds credibility. Whether it's in business, leadership, or personal relationships, people are drawn to those who don't make excuses, who follow through, and who hold themselves to a high standard. It becomes part of your identity, and success, being highly selective, is naturally attracted to people who can handle it. But perhaps the greatest gift of responsibility is inner peace. When you stop pointing fingers and start making moves, you eliminate the mental clutter of blame and resentment. You no longer wait for someone to rescue you, you become your own rescue, and that level of maturity, that quiet strength, is what sets you apart. It marks the difference between someone who chases success and someone who attracts it by the gravity of their character. Success is not built in sudden bursts. It is built in quiet repetition, day by day, step by step, habit by habit. If you want to become the kind of person who attracts success, you must stop obsessing over big breakthroughs and start mastering the seemingly small, invisible actions you take every single day, because in truth, your future is hidden in your daily routine. The most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation or luck. They rely on systems, repeatable patterns of behavior that drive consistent progress. They understand that what they do daily matters more than what they do occasionally. Their habits become their secret weapons, shaping their mind, body, energy, relationships, and outcomes long before the world ever notices their results. Think of your habits like compound interest. Each small choice, waking up early, reading for 30 minutes, journaling your thoughts, practicing your craft, eating clean, showing gratitude, might seem insignificant on its own. But compounded over months and years, these simple actions create extraordinary results. Just like money invested consistently grows quietly over time, your effort, if directed wisely, transforms your identity and your destiny. But it works both ways. Poor habits also compound the daily distractions, missed workouts, impulsive spending, wasted hours on social media, negative self-talk, procrastination. These small moments of comfort or laziness seem harmless in the moment, but they silently pull you away from your potential. And soon your life becomes a reflection not of your dreams, but of your repeated distractions. To master the power of daily habits, you must become intentional. Start by identifying which habits align with the person you want to become. Break them down into simple, doable actions. Don't wait for the perfect time. Design your environment so success becomes the default. Keep your goals visible. Set triggers that remind you to act. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Make your growth feel rewarding, not punishing. Most importantly, stay consistent even when results are invisible. Because the truth is, success often shows up quietly long after your habits have taken root. It rewards those who are patient, disciplined, and focused on the process rather than just the prize. That's what separates the average from the exceptional, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. And here's what makes habits so powerful. They shape your identity. Every time you follow through, you're proving to yourself who you are. I'm someone who honors commitments. I'm someone who shows up daily. I'm someone who grows no matter what. Eventually, you're not just acting successful, you are successful, because your habits align with greatness. Success is drawn to those who not only have value but can clearly express it. No matter how skilled, intelligent, or passionate you are, if you cannot communicate effectively, you'll constantly be overlooked, misunderstood, or underestimated. Becoming the person who attracts success means becoming someone who speaks with clarity, listens with intent, and connects with conviction. Confidence in communication doesn't mean being the loudest in the room. It means knowing your worth and expressing it without hesitation or apology. It means speaking in a way that reflects certainty, not arrogance, and transmitting energy that earns trust and attention. Whether you're leading a team, delivering a pitch, networking, teaching, or even having a simple conversation, your ability to express yourself with purpose becomes a powerful magnet for success. But this type of communication isn't just about words, it's also about presence. Your body language, eye contact, tone of voice, pace, and posture say as much if not more than the actual words you use. People don't just listen to what you say, they feel how you say it. If you slouch, mumble, avoid eye contact, or speak with doubt, you unconsciously tell the world you're unsure. But when you stand tall, look people in the eye, and speak with calm confidence, you signal certainty, and certainty attracts. Purposeful communication also requires that you become a great listener. Most people are so busy trying to sound impressive that they forget real influence is rooted in empathy. When you truly listen, not just to respond, but to understand, people feel seen, heard, and valued. That kind of presence builds trust, deepens relationships, and opens doors that talent alone can't. Furthermore, success is drawn to those who speak with intention. People who use their voice not just to fill space, but to create clarity, spark action, and inspire others. They don't ramble or sugarcoat. They communicate with honesty and direction. They choose their words carefully, not to manipulate, but to align, and they understand that their words create impact, whether in person, on stage, or through digital platforms. In today's world, where attention is currency and connection is power, your ability to communicate is one of your greatest assets. It shapes how you're perceived, how far your influence reaches, and how effectively you can lead, negotiate, and inspire. You don't need to be a natural speaker, you need to be an intentional one. Practice, learn from feedback, watch your energy, be clear about your message and your mission. And remember, every conversation is an opportunity to build trust, open doors, and move one step closer to the life you envision.